Income Insurance here at Financial Brokerage. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy Monday morning to join us. And with us today is Todd Shield. Todd is the manager for disability income products with Assurity Life. And today Todd's going to be sharing some ideas with us on prospecting and getting in front of your potential clients and starting that DI conversation. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to Todd. Good morning, Todd.
Thank you, and thanks for everybody for taking time out of their busy day today to be on today's webinar. I am going to talk to you, as Tim said, about the opportunities that are out there, some sales ideas, and how to start some conversations with clients. But first I want to show you the opportunity that's actually out there. This study was done by one of our reinsurers for us, and it's what we find here are the columns in green are the number of people in millions in that stated category within the United States, and the columns in blue are the percentage of those people that actually own a disability policy. So you can see on the far left, relatively speaking, not that many doctors and dentists within the United States, but about 80% of those people have a disability policy. And the question when I'm doing face-to-face training is, well, why? Why do 80% of doctors and dentists have a disability policy? And I hear all sorts of different answers. Well, they see sickness all the time. Yeah, they do. Their income, they make a lot of money, so they need to protect their income. I don't disagree with that one bit either. However, it's even more simple than that. Does their income mean more to them than it does to me or to anybody else out there? No, our incomes are important to everybody. The difference is that they've been approached and somebody's talked to them about buying income protection, and guess what they go out and they do? They go out and they actually purchase. So on the far right-hand side, Middle America, if you will, we see over 100 million people out here, and very few, if any, actually own a disability policy. This is Assurity's core focus, and I will tell you that we're not uncomfortable stepping outside of that red circle, but this is what we really focus on, and this is our target area. I want to show you that your prospects are virtually unlimited. Just about everybody that you talk to out there has an opportunity to have their paycheck protected, and frankly, only you can do it. Okay, it's up to you to initiate that conversation with your clients. What people don't realize as well is what's on the line. What's at stake if we don't have our paycheck protected? Take a look at a 35-year-old making $50,000. That's not an overwhelmingly large amount of money, but when we add in inflation, and by the time they get to age 65, we're talking about $3.3 million being earned. That is a lot of money. We are insuring things for a fraction of that cost. But a lot of times we're not insuring the thing that makes it all possible, our ability to earn an income and go to work each and every day. You know, I always like to ask the question, you know, if you had a home worth $3.5 million, would you insure it? Absolutely. Well, this is worth way more than any house that just about any of us are ever going to own. We need to be insuring that income and making sure that if we're too sick or hurt to go to work, we do have a way to pay our bills month in and month out. So this is a good sales idea, a good tool to use about future earnings and showing people long term what's at stake should they become too sick or hurt to work. A lot of times what we hear is, well, I'm set. I don't have to worry about it. And the question comes back, well, do you save any of your income? We know that people, specifically anymore, are living more paycheck to paycheck than they maybe ever have before. 48% of U.S. families don't save anything. Do you have a private pension? Anymore, pensions are really on the out. A lot of it's 401k and things like that. So falling back on that is not something that we need to think about. And do you have retirement savings? Can you believe it? 1 out of 3 don't have anything. And on top of that, if that's going to be an objection to not being able to work, well, I could take from my retirement savings and things like that. Was that the purpose of your retirement savings, was to fund a disability? No, it wasn't. It was to fund your retirement, okay? Think about what's going to happen if these people start taking money from their retirement savings or other investments that they have. They're going to be taxed, and if they're under 59.5, they're going to be penalized for it. So they're going to take a double hit on those things, and basically they are going to delay or destroy their retirement simply for the fact they don't have a personal income policy to help fund a disabling event. And the other question is, what do you sell? It doesn't matter what you sell. Your income makes it possible. We recently had some new sales interns start here in the last couple of weeks, and we've been going through some disability training. And one thing that I've told them is that no matter who you are or what you do, you are a function of your income. Everything you do revolves around the money that you make and the money that you're able to bring home. What happens if that money goes away? What sacrifices and what things are you going to need to get rid of or need to do in order to make sure that your bills are being paid? Or how are you going to change those bills? If you have an income protection policy, you're not going to really have to worry about that because this is designed to pay all of those bills for you. I deal with a lot of property casualty agents, and I ask them, how long are people going to be able to pay their homeowner's insurance, their vehicle insurance, when it comes down to paying that or the mortgage because they only have X amount in savings? What's going to go first? Paying a mortgage or getting rid of my homeowner's insurance or my vehicle insurance? You can pick that again anytime. I'm going to pay my mortgage if I have to. People who are heavy into the financial planning, you're setting up all these retirement savings and investments and assets under management. How long could those things continue to be funded if an income gets shut down because the client is too sick or hurt to go to work? So again, protect your client's most valuable asset, their ability to earn an income. One of the things that, from a consumer standpoint, they don't realize how disabilities actually occur. They see the crazy duck running around on TV, getting hurt and doing all sorts of crazy things. But what we don't realize is in the bottom area there, injuries and poisonings only account for 9% of all disabilities. That's it. The other 91% of disabilities are actually illness related. Okay, so if you ask a client today, I'm going to say their mentality is going to be the other way around. They're going to think that 9 out of 10 disabilities are illness or injury or accident related, when the reality is only 1 out of 10 are injury and accident related. So we need to think about those things. The big ones are musculoskeletal, so those are bad backs, bad knees. Cancer is number 2, believe it or not. Okay, that's a huge deal. And I think they recently updated this, and I think mental and nervous disorders, so anxiety and depression, I think actually are number 3 now. So think about those type of things when we're talking to our clients about protecting their income. Here's a great way to start a conversation with a client is, to ask what's more costly. Ask about the things that they're spending money on a daily basis for that you could take and either cut down on or turn it into an income protection policy. So at the bottom you can see here that consumers are spending, $3-4 a day on coffee. And what I can tell you is that for a fraction of that, about $32 a month, I can set somebody up with an income protection policy. And if you look at the fine print there, that's a $60,000 income. We put it on an age 65 benefit, 90-day elimination. We're protecting $1,350 a month for all the way up to age 65 for these people. Can you tell me that that's not an affordable plan? Could you, instead of having 5 coffees a week, cut it down to 3 coffees a week? Or could you maybe start making your own at home and bringing it with you? We're doing all of these things. One of the other things that I like to ask a lot too is, who's insuring their cell phone? And, if you do, that's fine. That's your choice. But I explain it this way. You have a $200 cell phone and you're spending $10 a month for 24 months worth of coverage. You just spent $240 to insure a $200 cell phone over the course of 2 years. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense. We could take that money and we could put it into an income protection policy. One of the things that I like to talk to clients about is to say, listen, maybe we can't afford to protect your entire paycheck, and that's okay. But I'm going to show you a needs analysis tool here in a little bit that can help get us to the major things. But if $50 a month is your number, let's put in a $50 a month plan. If $30 a month is your number, let's put in a $30 plan, okay? Something is better than nothing at this point in time. And, the question is, would you rather have, even if it's a low number, $500 a month of coverage or nothing? If something happens, which would you rather have? They're going to tell you that I would like to have at least $500 coming in my door. We can do that for next to nothing from a premium standpoint. What we need to do is sell the need, okay? Statistics are not good enough, and you guys already know this. You're good enough salespeople that you can't run around saying, well, listen, we know everybody's going to die at some point in time. Does that mean everybody owns life insurance today? Absolutely not, okay? We have to be able to sell the need. So ask some of these important questions to them. What's important to you? If you became too sick or hurt to go to work, what would you need money to pay for? Let them list out all those things. Okay, let them talk it out. How valuable is your income? You know, who else is relying upon you within your family to make sure that your paycheck is coming every 2 weeks or every month? Because in a lot of times, if they have a family, a nice way to kind of pull at the heartstrings of these people is to say, listen, disability income is not just about you. It's about your family. And your family relies upon your income. And if you can't bring it home, what are they going to do? All right? So how do you really spend your money? Again, walk me through some of your monthly expenses. What are we buying that is maybe a little bit of a luxury each and every month that we could cut down or cut back on like we talked about? And a good one is, you know, hey, could you afford to live without your income for 2 months, 6 months, age 65? Another way to start a conversation is simply by asking a question very similar to this, is to say, listen, could you afford to go on vacation for 6 months? And of course that answer is going to be no. And you know, so why? Tell me why you couldn't go on vacation for 6 months. Well, I need to get back to work. I need to get a paycheck. I don't have that much vacation time. So why is that any different if you would be too sick or hurt to go to work? If you can't afford to go on vacation for 6 months, can you afford to go without a paycheck for 6 months or longer? And ask about, are you concerned about inflation? Because we've got ways within disability policies to cover those inflation concerns for them as well, and their benefit can actually increase while on claim every year to keep costs with inflation. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can go about selling the need and starting conversations with clients. The other thing that we need to do is talk about affordability to their client. I can tell you from personal experience, talking to some CNAs not too long ago, that they grossly overestimate the cost of disability insurance. And studies have been done within the industry that back this up. If you can tell a client, listen, I can put together a plan for you that's going to be between 1% and 3% of your income, now they get an idea of cost. They can figure out just about what the premium is going to, be, relatively speaking, and it is affordable to them. We know, oh, listen, well, if it's 1% of my $50,000, okay, that's $500 a year. I could do that. That's not such a big deal. Carriers, Assurity included, have all sorts of discounts that are available. We do an own occupation class upgrade. We have multi-life discounts. You, as the agent, can present to say, listen, if we're to get you a policy based upon or without these discounts, here's what your premium would be. But because you're a business owner, look at what your premiums actually are. Showcase those savings to them and say, we need to make a decision very soon about this. And sometimes you have to flat out ask for it. If it's I don't know, or I need to think about it a little bit more, that tells me maybe it wasn't explained well enough. Even if they say no, at least you know where you stand. If they say maybe, now you're kind of in limbo and you don't know. Have them tell you where you stand today. One of my favorite sales ideas would be the two jobs, job A, job B. This works for any income, and I just wanted to show you this, and you can adjust it for the incomes of your clients, relatively speaking. But listen, I've got job A for you. Job A is going to pay you $78,000, but if you became sick or hurt, you're going to get nothing. Or I could pay you slightly less with job B at $76,500 annually, and if you became sick or hurt, you'd get $50,000 tax-free. Which job do you choose? Of course, everybody picks job B. They're the exact same job. It's just that job B has the disability premium taken out of it, okay? And $50,000 would be a disability benefit. And when we think about it, 2 to 3% of our income is going to protect about 90% of our take-home pay. So there's not a dramatic change in lifestyle for the fact that they end up going on claim. Now, disability is designed to hurt a little bit, all right, because we have to provide incentive to go back to work. We can't have you worth more at home on your couch than you would be working. But you're not going to be taking a dramatic hit in lifestyle based upon being on a claim if you're insuring your maximum income. And again, like I said, this sales idea works for any income level. I talked about it's going to show you a quick needs analysis tool. It's called the DI Game. And game, as you can see on the screen, is groceries, auto, mortgage, and electricity. Electricity really being all utilities. This is a great way to break the ice and to tell a client, hey, listen, at a bare minimum, these are the things that need to be covered. If you become too sick or hurt to go to work, I want to make sure that your home is not being foreclosed on, that your car is not being repossessed by the bank, that we've got groceries on the table, and if it ever stops raining in Nebraska, summer will be on the way eventually, and it is going to get hot and it is going to get humid, and I want my air conditioner to be on. I don't want to have to sweat it out, and neither should any of your clients. So think about protecting all of these things. The way to do this is to put a physical number by each of those things and show them, listen, do you realize what you're spending a month on all of this? These are things that we typically pay for and we don't even think twice about. And when we put a number by them and we add them all up together, it turns out to be a pretty big number. And it's really eye-opening to clients, and they say, you know what, I didn't realize I was actually spending that much, unless they really have a hardcore budget, which we know a lot of people don't. So think about adding this up. This is a great way to break the ice and to make a disability benefit real for your clients. As I stated earlier, maybe they can't afford to protect their entire income. That's okay. I get it. I understand. But at a minimum, these are the things that need to be covered. And if they can afford to protect more of their income, then move forward with that plan too. The other thing that I have here basically is this is really going to be your lifesaver. We know that agents are only really writing 1 or 2 policies a year for disability insurance, and it's because the client is asking for the coverage rather than the agent initiating that conversation with them. What financial brokerage asked me to talk about today is ways to start conversations. It doesn't matter how you start a conversation, and I don't have a magic bullet for you to say, this is the way that you can get 500 disability sales within the year. Okay, I can't give you that information. You got to find something that you're comfortable with and something that you can incorporate into your own presentation and your own sales style. But I will tell you, no matter how you start that conversation, if you're starting the conversation, you will be successful selling disability insurance. Okay, I showed you the thing about the doctors. Because they're approached about protecting their income, many people buy. And the matter of the fact is that for the rest of the country, very few of anybody is out there talking to these people about protecting their income. And because of that, we find that underwriting tends to be a little bit difficult because agents don't know what they're necessarily looking for. So we've created this illustration checklist, which is basically a client pre-screen tool. When we think about disability underwriting, no matter what carrier you're dealing with, there's really 3 areas of underwriting for disability. They would be occupational, financial, and health. So guess what we go through? We go through occupational, job duties of a client. We're going to find out what your client does for a living and what percentage of time they spend doing that. Then we're going to get some round numbers on how they're earning their money and how much money it actually is. That way we can get you an illustration for the right benefit amount. Now, the golden rule within disability income is that if you're a W-2 employee, we're going to use your gross income. And if you're 1099 or self-employed, we're going to be using your net income. Then the rest are some generic health questions. These aren't necessarily all knockout questions, but these are definitely things that can hold up a disability policy in the underwriting process. If you sell a lot of life insurance, I'm going to venture to say that your life underwriter really could care less if your client is seeing a chiropractor. But to a disability underwriter, that's a very bad thing, and it's eye-opening. And it's not necessarily bad, I should say, but it's very eye-opening because a bad back isn't going to kill you, but a bad back sure could keep you from going to work. And that's what we want to know. These are the type of things that we're going to be asking. I will tell you that if a client answers no to all of the health questions on there, you're free to run an illustration, you're free to take an application. We typically don't see too many surprises in underwriting. If they answer yes to anything, it's worth picking up the phone and getting this information to financial brokerage, and they can help you out with the pre-screen. And then we'll let the client know where they stand from an underwriting perspective before an application is even taken. The last thing that I'll tell you about this is that we have tracked agents that use this versus agents that don't, and the agents using this pre-screen are placing 20% more of their cases. That's a big number. That's powerful. So my question to you, for those on the call today, would be, would you take 3 to 5 minutes of your time to place 20% more of your disability cases? All day, every day. I deal in disability every day. And if I'm out trying to sell a personal policy on my own, I still use this illustration checklist, this pre-screen tool. I tend to get ahead of myself a little bit, I get a little bit excited, and I end up missing some questions that I probably should have asked. So I still use this on a regular basis. You can tell your clients, listen, you pre-qualified yourself before you got a home and for your mortgage, right? Well, why wouldn't we do this for protecting your paycheck? I want to make sure that you're pre-qualified. That way, there's no surprises during the underwriting process. Last sales idea that I want to give you, and then we can open it up for any questions that you may have. This is one of my favorite sales ideas that I ran into recently. We've got an agent that does a lot of her appointments in her own office. She doesn't really go to clients' homes very often. And on her desk, she has taped a $5 bill on the client side of her desk with a note attached that says, if I don't talk to you about protecting your income today, I owe you this $5. She's already done a couple of things. She has made herself accountable to start a conversation with the client each and every time that they're in her office. And the other thing that she's done is she's already broken the ice with the client. They know that she's going to ask about it. They see the $5 bill sitting there, and they're going to read that note. They know she's going to ask about it before they leave today. There's no pressure. You can talk about income protection, and both sides know that they have to do it, and she's found tremendous success doing it. She said she's only had to give it away one time, and she was so mad at herself, she said she'd never let it happen again. So if an idea like that works for you, feel free to use it. Like I said, I don't necessarily have all the answers or that magic bullet, if you will, but I have a little bit of insight with the brokers that I talk to and the people that I deal with that are successful selling income protection. And if it works for them, maybe you can incorporate it into what you're doing as well. So with that, Tim, I'll turn it back over to you, and let's see if anybody has any questions.
Well, it doesn't look like there's any questions now. But thanks again, Todd, for giving us some great information today and some helpful sales ideas and tools to take away with us. If any of those on the call today do have any other questions or need any help with any sales ideas, supplies, illustrations, anything of that nature, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at Financial Brokerage. Our toll-free number is 1-800-397-9999. And also, if you're not yet currently contracted with Assurity Life, we can make that quick and easy for you also. You can just visit our website, which is financial-brokerage.com. Click on the contracting tab, and you can get contracted online in just a couple minutes. Again, thanks for being with us today, Todd, and thanks all of you for joining us today. And happy selling. Let's make it a great week. Thank you.
Have a great day.